Hey everyone, we are Bean and Bagel. We are a married couple from the Midwest in the US. I'm from Michigan, she's from Minnesota. Together we normally talk about food on our channel, but today we're talking about the Us Journal. This is a book for couples to go through and have a keepsake about all the things they agree or disagree with. And we are continuing this series on page 17, where we are closing out the my top qualities in a partner section. There's a topic that we're presented with, and we have to rate it between 1 and 10 on whether we would want our partner to have this quality. And 10 meaning they absolutely must have this quality. 1 is we don't give a crap. So the first topic is cooking ability.
So, cooking ability for me is probably like a 4. I don't think that it's like really something that I need, which is probably a good thing since you don't cook that much typically. But I do think it's handy if someone knows at least some basics of cooking. I feel like if you're an adult, you should have like a basic understanding of how cooking works. But it's not really necessary that you are able to like cook all the time. So, but you have to be able to keep somebody else alive. That's kind of how I view it. So, yeah, a 4.
I think I've met her 4 quota because I actually have a diploma in culinary arts. I just don't like to cook. I mainly know how to cook because I felt like I was probably going to be alone for a lot of my life and I needed to know how to prepare a meal. Anyway, my number would be a 2 because I don't really care if my partner can cook or not. It's always nice, if someone can cook better than you, because then you can eat something different than fast food or ramen. But if they can't, it's not like a deal breaker for me. I don't really like lose sleep over it or anything, because if they can't cook, it usually means there's less dishes to do. And I hate doing dishes. So that's my answer.
That's true.
The next one is taste in music and art.
So, I would say for that one, I don't know. I feel like everyone should be entitled to their opinions about music and art, but I'd probably say like a 6, because I think it would be hard for me if I was with someone that like listened to music that I can't stand like all the time. Like I don't like super like twangy country music. Like I like some country music, but like the really really twangy stuff is just not my thing. Or if you like blasted Nickelback like constantly or something like that, it might kind of get old. So I would say it's probably like a 6. Cause yeah, you can have your opinions, but I do think it's important that you kind of are somewhat along the same page. But you also have those times when like the other person is around and you just like listen to stuff that, you know, the other person doesn't like. Like I like to listen to musicals all the time and things like that, but I keep it to a minimum sometimes around you.
Yeah, because I don't really like musicals all that much. I just feel like if you have something to say, just say it. You don't have to sing it and spend 10 minutes. My answer, I think I'm going to go with a 4 because, I'll take it back to when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I used to really think the other person that I was going to be with, like, they really needed to like the kind of music that I liked. And I thought it was such a big deal. And the older I got, the more I realized it doesn't really matter. Like, all the songs are really saying the same things. They're either talking about love, sex, war, whatever it is, God, or whatever else. And it's really just a different style. They're just experiencing, or they're saying what their experiences were through lyric. And so I really just started to learn, like, I don't care. But I do agree that if someone were, I don't know, playing polka music all day or something, that might get a little annoying. So I do think it's important, but I don't think it's like a deal breaker or anything like that. If someone because I feel like maybe I would learn to love something, because I've had that experience in my life with music. When I was younger, I used to always listen to like gangster rap and hip hop and all that kind of stuff. And as I've gotten older and been in different experiences, I've actually appreciated portions of like country or whatever other genres there are. But yeah, there are some, like we've talked about this before, where if God expects me to like sing praise and worship all day like in heaven, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy heaven, because that's just not my style. Like there's certain praise and worship music that's good, but I don't see myself singing it for an eternity. So I hope that's not a deal breaker for God. But I can understand, that you kind of need to be on the same page, because God probably wants me to praise him, but I hope he lets me praise him in other ways.
Now he's going to know that it's going to be like polka praise and worship that you're going to have to do.
Yeah, he's probably going to do something that's going to make me a better person, like he always does. The third topic of the 4 that we're going to do is parent potential.
So, parent potential, I would give that one an 8, just because I feel like there are qualities about being a parent that also translate well into a relationship as a whole. So like when I think about, someone being like nurturing or being patient, like those are all qualities that are good for parents, but it's just good like in relationships in general. Being able to be flexible, being like willing to like take time and like teach somebody something, or just being like patient and stuff like that. I feel like those are good qualities for parents, but I think it like translates to the relationship. So I think I would want somebody that has some of those qualities.
I would agree. I think I'm going to say 8 too. Like, I don't see myself as thinking that someone absolutely has to be the perfect parent or have the perfect parental traits. But I do think there needs to be some similarities there, because if they can't even, at time, like what if I'm an old guy and I'm peeing all over myself, right? Like I need someone who can take care of me and like change my bedpan or whatever, right? Like you got to have some sort of parental ability, and I would feel like my wife would probably want that from me as well if she were in that scenario. Like, well, I mean, we've both been through major injuries and had to support each other, and I think if I was with someone that didn't want to, then that would be a challenge for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah. All right, so the final one we're gonna do is open-mindedness.
So I think I would say probably an 8 for that one, because I think I want somebody like very open-minded, but I don't want them to be so open-minded that they like never kind of have their own like beliefs, or like, they don't really like stick to anything, because I think if you were like too open-minded, you could kind of be like blown with the wind and all of that. So I think an 8 is fair, because like you're pretty open-minded, but like you could still have like your core beliefs and values that you kind of hold to, but like you're very understanding and open to other people's points of view. So that's why I'd land on 8, I think.
I think I'm gonna land on a 9. I'm just gonna one up her a little bit. I think the reason is I fell in love with you for who you are, and I think most married couples do. I never want to change somebody, but I also want them to be able to have a discussion instead of a debate. And I think that's why I'd want someone who's open-minded, because people who are open-minded are more likely to discuss things than debate things. And I don't think you can debate all the time in a marriage. If you're just talking about having a friend or being like with someone and you don't think they're marriage material, then I think that's different. But a marriage partner, I don't want to have someone I'm going to debate with all the time. You know what I mean? I want us to really kind of work things through together and discuss things or whatever, but I don't ever want to change them. So
Yeah, I like that answer.
word.
No
So
debates.
that's the end of our video for today. What do you think of all these? Do you have an opinion? If you do, we're interested in reading about them in the comments below. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video when we continue this series. And we hope you have a good day. See you later.